Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Boruto Was Trained by Zoro Roronoa, Part 3. Yeah. Wait, is it Part 3? No, it is Part 3. So, let me mention what happened last time. Boruto, well, of course, after, coming back from the 5-month training script, what the hell is that script? No, training skip with Zoro Roronoa. Of course, he did go to the academy. He also managed to defeat what's called Sundere and her crazy plan to blow up the whole fucking village. Of course, after that, Baruto decides to go into the forest and try to train, while Sakura is actually trying to meet her father during that arc. Now, of course, this is where Baruto he finds a sword in the middle of the sort of ground. It had a sheath, and of course, the sword was sort of all covered up in vines. And Baruto, he just picks it up and goes into his mindscape and meets Kenpachi, who's actually the sword of what this. Basically, it looks like Kenpachi's sword, okay? Is it gonna have a bankai? Nah, not really. No, not really. I don't want it to have a bankai. I just like the design of the sword. So, yeah. And if you're wondering what Baruto's other 3 swords are, well, you can see in the thumbnail. But I'll mention how he will actually get them. So on. So yeah, after that, this is where Baruto's actually going towards, well, he kind of got a change from the sword. Since he met Kenpachi and this Kenpachi did let him decide to, be the new user of the sword. Baruto's hair sort of changes to spikes, but of course it's still green and it has little bells. Also, he is, also Baruto someone kind of grew up really fast and became 5'10". Because of how Kenpachi is 6'6". I'm gonna make him 5'10". Now, of course, there's gonna be people saying that a 12-year-old cannot be 5'10". You realize here, if you went probably to a private school, then you probably never seen multiple kids. But if you went to the public school, there's people that are 12 years old and they're 6 already, 7 or 6 fucking feet, or you get the point. They are tall as shit. Or you can find the smallest person that being 4, 5 at least. Yeah, everyone goes up in different sizes. I think I was 5'10" when I was 12. Well, no, wait. Was it 5'10" or was it 5'5"? I can't fucking remember. So yeah, of course with that happening, Boruto, he is that tall, and of course I mentioned let's left it off last time. Now, I should also mention that I'll probably end this video if my stomach keeps hurting, because yesterday and today my stomach just been hurting like hell. So I'll probably end it because my stomach just gonna keep hurting. So yeah, why I'm doing this video now? Well, I did upload a video a while ago, even though my stomach did hurt at that time. It is still hurting this time. I don't have enough lemon. Son of a bitch, I should have got more lemon. Never mind. Okay, I should stop distracting me with some random bullshit yeah. So I'll probably end the video if my stomach just keeps hurting, okay? So yeah, that's all I just want to mention. Let me begin. So after Boruto becoming 5'10" and having bells on his hair, and kind of became like Kenpachi's hair, because I kind of like Kenpachi's hair and all that. So yeah, of course it's still green and light green and dark green, like this color. So yeah, he has no blonde hair. That's all I just want to mention. Now, Boruto has the sword. Well, he switched out one of his cracked swords that he wanted to get for to repair a blacksmith. But after finding Kenpachi's sword, he decides to switch that sword. Now, the sword that he has, he decides to keep it as a memory of Zoro. So since Zoro actually bought the 3 swords for Boruto. Now, I did realize that I keep saying Menma, the sword from Zoro in the last video, but just realized this. it's not the actual Menma sword that Boruto has. It's just a normal plain sword that Boruto kind of named Menma. It's not the actual sword. I'm just an idiot for actually fucking like keep saying it. Because I actually want to like give him different swords instead of like the 3 swords that Zoro has. And you can probably already see. Not the point. Let me go into the what if. So yeah, after Boruto kind of getting Kapachi's sword and actually putting it as his like 3rd sword now, but replacing it, he has his normal white sort of. It was also colored kind of green, and put it as well as something for him to remember of Zoro, since the 3 swords that he has is basically Zoro that bought them or stole them from someone. But yeah, of course, that's what I just want to mention. Now, after Boruto getting that sword, and of course going towards the academy after a couple days, and of course everyone is like doing the shuriken throw and all that, and Satoru's like throwing them all perfectly. Everyone's amazed with Satoru's skills. Until Boruto, what he does is, well, he's confused and throwing the shuriken still. This is where Awabi helps him out, saying you just gotta throw the shuriken, and of course, I think Awabi was right now fighting against Metal Lee and all that. So yeah. So after Boruto trying to see how he's gonna throw this shuriken at it, of course, when Satoru talks a bunch of stuff at him, blah blah blah, and Boruto, he throws the shuriken and it hits the target, going right through it and almost hitting Awabi and Metal. Metal was like, oh shit. Awabi says, Boruto, fucking, like, calm down with your strength. Boruto says, am I sorry? Oh, well, not am I sorry. I'm sorry, motherfucker, but do you realize I cannot control my strength half the time? And Awabi says, that is true. Also, how the fuck are you 5'10"? Because everyone they saw Boruto, they're like, damn, this man grew. Yeah, he went into a growth, what's called spurt. Or whatever you like to call it. Él creció muy grande, okay? So yeah. So of course Boruto is that tall and he has bells, and people are wondering why the hell he has bells. People are just like not caring that much. So yeah. Of course, now it's the field trip with the Land of Waves. Boruto did not prank or try to prank Aruka. So yeah. Boruto, he is, well, the leader of, well, the trip still. Because Satoru still wanted him to be the leader of the thing. And of course, Boruto's barely even paying attention. He's just like, well, this sword looks amazing. Kapachi says, yeah, it's also going to give you a lot of, like, how should I say, we're going to kill a lot of people with this sword. Exactly. We're going to the blood of the mist. Let's do it. And Kapachi says, yeah. Now, of course, this is where they're all going to, like, on the boat and all that. The yacht boat, whatever the hell it's called. And, of course, everyone is, like, playing, blah, blah, blah. Boruto is, well, sort of training with a dull sword. Not a dull sword. He's training with the sword of Kapachi that he has. Now, of course, Boruto is slashing at the air and all that, and trying to feel it, well, very well. Seeing which hand will be good enough for it to be used. He knows he isn't going to put it in his mouth because fuck that. He already has a sword for that to be. And of course, Boruto is just slicing the air. And of course, he feels like it's a right hand. So of course, he uses it with his right hand. And uses techniques with his right hand. Like, how should I say, one sword style. And just slashes the air in a little, how should I say, a pressure of slash air kind of goes through the water and cuts the water. Now, people are confused how Boruto can cut water. But yeah. Of course, everyone is, well, yeah, when they get to the Land of Mist, blah, blah, why the hell did I say Land of Mist? For some reason, I was thinking of Land of Waves and Mist, and I combined them to the Land of Mist. No, I mean the Mist Village. For some reason, I'm an idiot. But yes. Of course, after getting to the Mist Village, this is where they meet Kagere, and Kagere says, so, who is Boruto Uzumaki? And Boruto says, huh? Boruto Uzumaki? My name isn't Boruto Uzumaki, it's Kapachi Uzumaki. And people kind of fear that name. They like have this sweat drop and like they kind of, what's it called, shiver from the back. Because that name is a badass name. Of course, after Boruto, like, just looking at Kagere, and Kagere kind of sweat drops, because Kagere is, I think he was. So, Kagere is about, like, 5.5 feet and all that. So, yeah. Of course, he is seeing how big Boruto is, and everyone is kind of scared that Boruto's gonna murder him. Now, of course, Kagere says, "Oh, my apologies, Kampachi Uzumaki." What? She's kind of nervous and all that in voice, but yeah, people are wondering why Boruto changed his name to Boruto Uzumaki to Kampachi Uzumaki. But yeah, of course, people are just like sometimes not caring, but yeah. Now, of course, same thing happens in Renjo Canon. Boruto does not, well, care that much about, like, what's it called, actor. You know, the white hair actor with glasses or shaved, whatever the hell they were again. He doesn't care about that because he remembers beating the fuck out of that person so easily. Now, Boruto, well, he was sort of kind of just seeing Awabi kind of like walk away, so he decided to follow Awabi. Of course, Awabi and Boruto are talking. This is where the brown-skinned guy tries to attack Boruto. Boruto turns around, sees this guy is way smaller than him, and since the guy did try to bump into Boruto, he was like, "Hey, move out of the way." Boruto looks at him and says, "Who the fuck are you?" And he says, my name is Nah." Boruto just slapped him away. He didn't care. He just bitch smacked him away. He just, yeah. Of course, this is where Shinja? No, wait, what was his name? I don't remember. Of course, came out of nowhere and says, "Can you not hurt my subordinate?" And of course, Boruto says, "I don't care about your freaking playtime boy or whatever the hell you want to call it." And of course, he says, "That's not what I'm saying," and tries to attack Boruto. Boruto, he kind of just put his feet up in the air and kicks what's called the guy in the like stomach. Kisame's son. I don't remember his name half the time. Of course, after Boruto just already kicking their asses, and of course they ran away. Boruto didn't care. Of course, after that, they meet up with what's called Chojuro, not Chojuro. Yeah, Chojuro. Yeah, that's his name. Chojuro and he is the new Mizukage and all that. I think fit Mizukage. So yeah. Of course, this is where they kind of put Chojuro decides to put a sword battle between Kagere and Boruto to see who is the strongest swordsman, because he sees Boruto has 3 swords, and he's kind of shocked that Boruto has 3 swords just on him anytime. Yeah. Of course, Boruto, what he does is, of course, he has a wooden sword and all that. But of course, instead of just having one wooden sword, he has 3. This is where Kagere decides to attack Boruto. And this is where Boruto, well, Kagere is about to use like some kind of sword style, I don't remember, like in original canon and all that, to try to disarm Boruto's like swords and all that. That's what Boruto does. So Boruto uses 3 sword styles, say Shin Shin Sun Sun, which it means just high speed attack. And he did sort of high speed attack, what's it called, Kagere. And Kagere just gets hit by it, and of course he gets flung back into the wall because he was surprised with the attack. He did not realize how fast Boruto was actually hitting him with the attack. Or how hard. Yeah, you get the point. So, of course, with that happening, everyone's amazed, and so they go on like in the original canon. So, everything would go the same in the original canon to the point to where, what's called, Boruto is right now talking to Kagere in like the, what's called, to, Kagere and, what's called, in the 7 Swordsmen. Now, of course, Boruto is just talking to Kagere, and of course, the 7 Swordsmen appeared with not the 7 swordsmen on them or anything. But of course, Boruto's trapping through the water prison. But Boruto manages to break through and says, "What is that for, you weakling?" The 7 swordsmen use a different water styles to try to attack, Kampachi, / also known as Boruto. Well, Boruto kind of changed his sort of last name. I think I did mention that. Boruto did sort of change his last name from Boruto Uzumaki. So it's basically Kampachi Roronoa. So yeah, Boruto's right now just like easily slashing through the water attacks with his like Kenpachi sword. Of course, people are just like the seven swordsmen managed to escape with Kagure. Of course, Kagure is right now just helping seven swordsmen. Chochiro is about to go over there and try to stop him. Boruto says, "How about this? I'll help you out." Not Kagure. Chochiro did not want to, but Boruto says, like just think of it as a child problem. So yeah, Boruto gets to the seven swordsmen pretty easily, but just doing what's called flash step pretty easily. So, of course, instead of doing like a body flicker, he does flash them. So, of course, when he gets there, he sees the seven swordsmen. Now, the seven swordsmen are just looking at Boruto. Boruto pulls out his Kenpachi sword and the other two swords, I meant to say. Not three. Two swords. And, of course, Boruto says, "Bring it on, you weaklings." Of course, all of them decide to attack Boruto. One decides to use the explosion tags from the sword. Of course, that's where Boruto, he easily dodges the what's called attack. Well, he dodges all of the seven swordsman attacks except for what's called Kisame's son, who has Samahara on him. He didn't even swing or anything. So what Boruto says, what Boruto uses is called the Dragon Twister, and just rushes at all of them and easily are like, taking them all out. This is where Samahara is right now using the blood, what's called Mist, and what's not Samahara, what's called Shizun, whatever his name is. Of course, he tried to use the bloody mist, and of course, Kagure did try to attack Boruto, but Boruto blocked his attack with the what's called Kenpachi sword, and just kicks Kagure away, and then rushes at the person that uses Samahara. This is where, of course, he tries to block with Samahara. Of course, he feels the pressure like going down on him, and he's trying to try to push what's called Boruto away, but Boruto is pushing more and more down. Boruto has this giant like smiling grin. His teeth are also sharp like what's called Kenpachi. And Boruto saying, "Come on, die, die, die." Boruto uses this Kenpachi sword to just swing down. Of course, so Shizuma is trying to block away from Boruto, but of course Boruto's swinging down, and of course, Samahara did not get sliced through or anything, but Boruto did decide to put armor hacking on the sword and slashed through the Samahara sword. Now, of course, Shizun is kind of amazed, shocked, and horrified the fact that Boruto can easily just slice through it. And of course, he has this giant slash gap on his chest now. Of course, Kagure did try to attack Boruto, and he's using chakra for both swords, but of course he's draining it out, and Boruto just puts armor hacking and all three of his swords and just rushes at what's called Kagure. And of course, blocks two of Kagure's strikes, and of course just slashes one time. And tells Kagure that his parents fought what's called Yagure, what's called the Purge of the Mist or whatever. It is not his fault. It's just because that's his parents. Blah blah. Same thing happened in the original canon. But yeah. Of course, Boruto it just doesn't care, and of course he realizes he has to get to what's called the curfew and all that. So he runs. This is where Chochiro gets there, and he sees the massacre of the seven swordsmen. But yeah, I'm also gonna leave it off here. Have a nice potato, potato, not potato, 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 because I'm gonna keep fucking up all my words and the fact that, well, my Wi-Fi is slow as hell, so I have to go do something like that. Do something for that.